It's pizza time! Not just any pizza. We're going to make something a little different. This is Philly cheesesteak pizza. Doesn't that look yummy? It's pretty easy to put together too. Let's get at it right now. The first thing we need is our meat. I've got some flank steak I had in the freezer, thawed it out, and we're going to cut it up into thin slices. Kind of like that right there. I'm trying to be careful I don't cut myself, but there you go. Nice and bite-sized pieces. Next up, an onion. Just a medium onion, nothing fancy. Now you can cut it up into strings, thin slices, however you want to do it. I kind of did a mix of both. So that looks pretty good there. Let's put that aside till we need that. Alright. What else is going to go on a Philly cheesesteak pizza? Peppers. So I've got a green pepper. Nothing fancy. We cleaned her out. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slice this baby up into small slices. Small thin slices. It looks something like that. You want them a little longer. I guess there's nothing wrong with that too. That looks pretty good right there. You don't need a lot when you're making a pizza. You think you do, but you don't. Next up, we've got some cheese. Now, I don't have any shredded mozzarella, but I do have this brick. And as you can see, it's kind of crumbly, so I think this is going to work out just right. We need a cup and a quarter. Well, however much is there is going to work, and if it's not, I'll just do some more. Okay, we need a sauce for our pizza, so in to a small pot goes a tablespoon of butter-ish. Get that all nice and melty. And then to that, we're going to put a good tablespoon of flour. Mix that all around. For about a minute until it starts kind of coming together. Now slowly we're going to put in our half cup of milk. I just took it off the element because it's kind of boiling. I don't want it to really curdle, so we put a little bit in, mix it around. We need to constantly stir. Okay, I'm trying not to block your view, but stir, 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 stir. You can see how the butter and flour kind of thickened up on us, which is what it was supposed to do. Now it's going to loosen up a little bit as we make this sauce. Almost done. Just a little bit more and we'll have it all put together. I'm just kind of dumping it in and then mixing it around. So there we go. It's all combined. And unfortunately, you got to keep mixing. Now this is about 2 cloves of garlic all mixed together. And now into our sauce goes our cheese. That is, it's supposed to be a 1/4 cup of Parmesan, but I think it's more like a 1/3 cup. And then let's get it off the element. Into our frying pan, a little bit of olive oil and all those onions we sliced up. And we're going to cook them down right now. This is optional if you just want to put the raw onions and peppers onto the pizza. Go ahead. So we're going to cook these and the peppers till they just start getting bendy. And they've broken apart from each other. You don't want a big clump of onions. I love onions, but I sure don't like biting into a big chunk of them. A couple minutes on the fire. They look good enough. We'll put them in a bowl, a little bit more oil, and in goes our green peppers. Same thing again till they start softening up. You don't want them super cooked because they are going to go in the oven. Mushrooms are next. I had a few mushrooms. Had to get used up, so they went in. And we're going to put them aside. And last is our meat. A little bit of oil again. And all that meat, that's close to a pound worth of real thin sliced beef. And we're going to cook it till it's pretty well cooked. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of pink because it's going on the pizza. Let's put this pizza together. So we need some pizza dough. Okay, I'm using the refrigerated kind just because normally I would make it, but I really didn't have the time to. So this is a okay substitute. Plus it made just enough for dinner. And that's the one advantage to using this stuff. My baking sheet with a little bit of parchment paper on top. And yeah, I know it's 2 pieces, the end of one roll, the beginning of the other. But for what I'm doing, it's not really going to matter because it's not going to be leaking onto the pan. This is just to cover it up so it doesn't stick to the pan. So now we've just got to carefully unroll the pizza dough. And you can see it doesn't look like it's a lot until we start mushing it around and stretching out a little bit. And with a little bit of patience, we're going to have us a really nice pizza dough that's going to pretty well fit that pan. You don't want it too thin because if it's too thin, then you literally make holes in the bottom of your dough. So you don't want that. That looks about right there. We'll put it aside, let it rest 10 minutes. Now, I didn't do it while we're on the stove. You can put a little bit of salt and pepper to taste into your sauce. Yeah, maybe about a half a teaspoon I put in. We'll put it aside. You can also put some nutmeg in. Recipe called for it, but I did not do that. So 5-10 minutes to let the sauce cool because you don't need steaming hot sauce to go into the oven. Pour it all onto your pizza dough, spread it all around, and then our crumbly mozzarella we throw next. Then we put our Parmesan, our little bit of Parmesan that was left. And then I decided we need even more cheese, so my mix goes on, followed by our beef. Next up, our mushrooms, our onions. This is looking really good. And lastly, our green peppers. Look at that, looks good. All right. Let's get her into the oven now. 475 for 12 to 15 minutes. Keep an eye on it. And when the crust starts browning up, you know it's pretty well done. And it should look something like this. So now we let it cool for a couple minutes. And now I got my pizza cutter out. And let's get this thing sliced. And let's get a piece so we can give this a try. Now it's not the easiest thing to cut because the pan had a lip on it on the edge, but we managed. Just took there we go. All right, there's our slices of pizza. Now check this out. Oh, that looks really good. There you have it, our Philly cheesesteak pizza. Time to dig in. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this in any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.